This question is basic algebra. I know why some people are going to be frightened of it. It does have those absolute value bars, and you've probably seen them before, but you might have forgotten what they do. And you're like, oh, as soon as you see them, you're going to panic and be like, oh no, that's a problem. It actually does not matter at all in this case. So the thing that we have to do first, though, is plug in 4 for x. We have function notation here. So this is a plug points into equations question. We need to recognize that. The key is whether we are given the x or if we're given the y, which would be the g of x. So in this case, we're given the x. So that just goes right in for all the x's. So g of 4 is equal to the absolute value of 4 plus 18. So remember, absolute value bars behave like parentheses. We have to do whatever is inside of them first. So there's nothing outside we could have done anyway, but the 4 plus 18, I don't even care about the absolute value bars, like what they do. Just 4 plus 18 is 22, right? So that's really what we're doing is now the last step of this is to apply the rules for absolute value. And they're very straightforward. If the number in the parentheses in the absolute value bars were negative, we would just make it positive, and that's that. If it's positive, nothing happens. It just stays. So the absolute value of 22 is just 22. So g of 4 is 22. That's it. That's the whole thing. So that algebra, I definitely think, is what most people should be doing here. You hopefully have enough of a sense of what absolute value does that you can kind of navigate that. But if you were in any way unsure, all you got to do is put this in the calculator, right? You can do that too. And you could put it as written. So we could even just do, using the ABC here, g of x. And we can do that. Then we have equals. And the absolute value bars are somewhere here, right here. There's kind of bottom left of the calculator where it has an A with 2 straight lines next to it, right there. That's the absolute value parentheses. And then we can just type as normal, x plus 18. And so what we're going to get, I'll zoom out here, is we get the basic graph here of this. And absolute values, remember, make this kind of V shape. So in order to solve for what we wanted, g of 4, well, just put that in too. The calculator's really good at knowing what you want. So g of, here's my parentheses, here's my 4, and it's going to know to use the g of x equation that you gave it and just basically substitute it in for you. So it's 22, right? That's what we got. So it's actually, in a way, Desmos is kind of solving 2 problems if you're iffy. It's solving the function notation, where do numbers go, how do we plug it in, and it's just solving the issue of like how do the absolute value bars work, right? We don't even see it working here. We just trust the calculator's doing it right, and it is. So remember, Desmos is really useful, not necessarily in this case as a first resort, but if you are iffy on certain algebra topics, you know, it's better than getting it wrong, is basically it. Put it in Desmos, take a little extra time. I'd rather you take the time to get this right than worry about it and get it wrong and then struggle on later stuff as well, because it is going to get harder.